Hi everyone, my name is Didi. Welcome back to another Elder Scrolls Online video. I wanted to do something really quick just to answer and hopefully give some quick focus on races and classes, what good and what works effectively within Elder Scrolls Online. Obviously this is just a guide. Please put some suggestions, leave some comments if you think you've got a better idea than me. All up for some debate on this, but I just wanted to kind of answer that question, which I see a lot, is I want to be a orc or I want to be a Nightblade. What class or what race should I be? So my intention here is just to talk through each of the races and say what's the best class for that race, and then hopefully explain why to you very briefly, kind of give you a flavour of it. This is definitely going to be what's good and works well, and then I'll probably do later on what's bad and won't work well, because there is some halfway houses, and I think that's where it gets interesting. Is to you get some funky classes, which I'm trying to set up certainly in my games. It's all about Elder Scrolls, the same as like Skyrim. It's all about, you can take characters in different directions, but this video is just about what's the best, or what I think is the best for that particular race. So, that said, let's crack into it. I thought I'd show you the veteran gear of some of these guys as well, which is looking amazing. So this is the Breton. The Breton gets bonuses to light armor, magicka and spell resistance. So, from that respect, Sorcerer all day long. Sorcerer is going to use loads of magicka. The fact that the Breton gets bonuses to magicka means, you're going to make the most powerful Sorcerer with the Breton. Having said that, it does have spell resistance, so you could take it in a different direction. You can take it into a Templar direction, or maybe even a Dragon Knight, that are two quirky options. But yes, Breton Sorcerer works the best, in my opinion. Next, Redguard. These guys get bonuses to one-handed sword and shield and stamina regeneration. So Sorcerer, no, because they're not going to use stamina. Nightblade, yes, but they're not going to use a one-handed sword and shield, so you kind of forego that element of it, so not so much. But Dragon Knight and Templar are probably, if you want to tank, tanks certainly work really well with the Templar class because you can heal yourself, and there's a blend of magicka and stamina. However, the Redguard doesn't get any bonuses to magicka, so you'd have to work towards that. So my recommendation for Redguard is a one-handed sword and shield Dragon Knight, focusing on just being a general bad boy, loads of armor, loads of stamina, and just crushing every enemy that you possibly can find. Next, Orc. This is pretty much the same, to be fair. I mean, look at that. He is a man mounted. Well, he's an Orc actually, but there you go. So they get bonuses to heavy armor, which, as of Dragon Knight, you're going to use loads of. They also get bonuses to health and stamina, so you're naturally going to become a tank in a melee class, which is all about the Dragon Knight. Having said that, the Templar is about the same, so you could potentially do a Templar class, the same as the Redguard really, that it works quite well, but you need to try and focus on some of your energies onto magicka, which neither of them have any bonuses against, but you can kind of counteract that with equipment. Anyway, so Orc, Dragon Knight, done. Next, Aldemir Dominion, the High Elf. Whoa, that's pretty cool. So these guys get bonuses to Destructive Staff, magicka regen, and they get some elemental talents, which gives them more spell damage if it consists of like cold, fire and shock. So that means to me, Sorcerer all day long. That increase in magicka is definitely helpful, without a doubt. You're going to cast more spells, happy times. Yes, you can make some funky Dragon Knight classes as well if you wanted to, but and maybe some Templar, but you're going to struggle with the stamina regen. And with these two, well, maybe more the Templar, you don't really need that, the staff. So yeah, High Elf equals Sorcerer. Wood Elf, what is he wearing? They get bonuses to archery and stealth and what was the other one? And stamina. So it's a melee class. That most effective is the Nightblade. Everyone can use a bow, so in that respect you could quite easily choose something else but then again, you're kind of having to work, depending on which avenue you go down, you're having to try to work out which stamina abilities go best with a Wood Elf. A Nightblade is all about stamina abilities, it's all about fast damage, stealth abilities, and the Wood Elf has got bonuses to stealth and to archery, so Nightblade all day long. Khajiit, and this is pretty much similar, and actually I think Khajiit is better than the Wood Elf because they get better crit damage, so you could probably, they get better stealth crit damage as well, so shooting or attacking out of stealth, they get better initial crits from that, so they're probably even better than a Wood Elf, to be honest. So again, Nightblade, yes, you can probably do something funky if you wanted to, but the most logical choice for a Khajiit is the Nightblade as well. Ebonheart Pact. I'll start with Dark Elf. Man, check that out. That's one hell of a mohawk. So the Dark Elf is a bit of a funny one. Nightblade works really well because they get dual wield bonus, and they also get fire magic and fire resistance. And that's not, to be honest, that's not like massively helpful that they get that, but it's having that kind of increase of dual wield. They also get bonuses on magic and stamina. Now that then kind of this for me, the Dark Elf is a kind of a 50-50 character. You can take it one of two ways. You can go dual wield and try and throw in some fire stuff in there as well, or you can go Pyromancer. You can go to the Dragon Knight and just use as much fire damage as you can, because they've got a flame talent which increases the spell damage or spell power with fire effects, which can be really powerful towards the end of the game, but you have to wait to unlock that. So you might struggle to begin with if you choose a Dark Elf Dragon Knight, but you get rewarded at the end. But the dual wield, it kind of errs on the side of quickly leveling up a Nightblade. What's next? Nordingtons. He's horny. That's a terrible joke, I'm sorry for that. Right, the Nords are all about two-handed weapons, health regen, and being increase in armor, which is Dragon Knight and is Templar. Those two, depending on what kind of character you want to be, Dragon Knight makes more sense because that's all stamina based, although they don't really get much stamina regen. Yeah, and so actually a Templar sort of makes sense as well, because you need to balance out all your characters, because you're trusting so it's not a tank Templar, it's more of a damage Templar that would make sense with the Nord. So that's the one I'm gonna recommend, is a Templar Nord. Finally, the Argonian, and this is a no-brainer as well. They get bonuses to the restoration staff. So without a doubt, the best thing to do is make this guy the most amazing healer you can possibly think of, and just use the restoration staff, all the healing abilities of the Templar, and yeah, he becomes a really powerful healer. No problem at all, gets really leveled up. They do have some other things about increasing healing, so you could quite conceivably make a tank, kind of healing tank character with them. Obviously other viable options, but my recommendation, Argonian, Templar. Cool, so I'll put in the description down below what my recommendations are, just so you've got a quick reference as well. Obviously I've rattled through that because I figure, you should be able to pick up. You've probably already got ideas in your mind to say, actually, I want to be this type, I want to be a Dragon Knight, what's the best race to be, or I definitely want to be a Wood Elf, what shall I be, a Sorcerer or whatever. And to be honest, there is no wrong answer. Having said that, I will do you probably will, don't do this initially, don't do this as your first character type of combinations, because you just hinder yourself basically. You just don't level up as fast because you haven't got the natural race passive skills leveling you up as they should. Having said that, you can kind of ignore the races completely, because you do have to put skill points into each of each of the passive skills to get bonuses from them. So if you wanted to, and again I wouldn't recommend it because you kind of ignore and weaken your character by ignoring them, you can just ignore them completely and just do whatever you want. And that's always been the beauty of Elder Scrolls Online. That's why I kind of consider this video to be slightly what I'd say is emotive, and it's going to create a little bit of friction. So yeah, please leave a comment, please give I'm not going to say give it a like, just don't dislike it if that's all right. Or you can, yeah, just do what you feel is appropriate. If it was useful, give us a like. If you've got some suggestions and some recommendations and characters that you know works well in different combinations, stick them in the comments, share them with everybody else. I'd love to see them as well. Yeah, and hopefully you can kind of enlighten us with your thoughts. So that is one hell of a hat. It's got a skirt on. It just doesn't look right, is it? Oh, that's leading on to my next video, which is basically which options to not choose with various races. Don't be an orc sorcerer. Anyway, I'm going to get flamed to that, I'm sure. Right, thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope to see you in the next episode. Please give us a like, please give us a subscribe as well. Thank you so much for your continued support to all my subscribers. It is massively appreciated. You guys are amazing. Some of the comments I've received in those couple of days, I'm like, yeah, it is wonderful. So, thank you so much. Take care now.